These true high school horror stories happen to real students, and some of them were never fully explained. High school halls are loud during the day, but at night, they become something else entirely. Empty classrooms, flickering lights, locked doors that shouldn't open. Tonight, you'll hear 4 disturbing true horror stories from high schools across the United States. Stories told by students, teachers, and people who still refuse to go back. Stay until the end, because the last story is the one that still has no explanation. #Ghost Story 1. The classroom that stayed open, it started with detention. Marcus wasn't a troublemaker. But one mistake, a fight in the hallway, was enough to land him in after-school detention for a week. The room assigned for detention was on the 2nd floor, room 214. It wasn't unusual. Just an old classroom near the end of a long hallway. Most students avoided that side of the building because it was quieter and, honestly, kind of unsettling. The fluorescent lights buzzed constantly. Some flickered, others barely stayed on. Marcus arrived late that afternoon. Only one other student was there, a girl he didn't recognize. She sat in the far corner, head down, long dark hair covering her face. The teacher hadn't arrived yet. Marcus took a seat near the middle of the room. Minutes passed. No teacher, no announcements. Just silence. He glanced at the girl. She hadn't moved, not once. After about 15 minutes, Marcus pulled out his phone. No signal. Weird. The school usually had decent reception. He stood up, walked toward the door, and tried the handle. Locked. That didn't make sense. Detention had just started. He knocked. No response. He turned back toward the room. The girl was now looking at him. He hadn't seen her move. Her eyes didn't look right. Too dark, too still. "You shouldn't try to leave," she said softly. Marcus forced a laugh. "Yeah, okay." He sat back down, tried to ignore her, but something felt off. The air in the room felt heavier, colder. The lights flickered again, this time longer. When they came back on, the girl was closer, now sitting just a few desks away. Marcus stood up instantly. "Did you just move?" No answer. She just stared at him, smiling, slowly. The door behind him clicked. Unlocked. Marcus didn't hesitate. He ran down the hallway, down the stairs, out of the building. The next day, he told the school staff everything. They checked the records. There was no detention scheduled in room 214 that day. No teacher assigned. No student listed, and the girl, no one recognized her. But one older staff member said something that stayed with Marcus. That room was closed for a reason. Marcus never asked why. #Ghost Story 2. The locker that opened by itself. Emily had always felt uncomfortable near her locker. It was in a corner of the hallway where the lights didn't fully reach. Locker 327. From the first day of school, something felt off. At first, it was small things, a cold draft, a strange smell like old metal and something damp. Then one day it happened. Emily was walking toward her locker between classes when she saw it. Her locker door slowly opening. No one was near it. She froze. The hallway was crowded, but no one else seemed to notice. The door creaked open halfway, then stopped. Emily approached cautiously. "Did someone mess with my locker?" she muttered. She pulled it open. Everything looked normal, books, backpack. Nothing out of place, but on the inside of the door there were scratches, deep ones, like something had tried to claw its way out. Emily slammed it shut. That night she couldn't stop thinking about it. The next day she asked the janitor about it. He went quiet for a moment, then said, "You might want to request a different locker." She laughed nervously. "Why?" He hesitated, then said something she wished she hadn't heard. Years ago, that locker belonged to a student who disappeared. Emily's stomach dropped. "Disappeared? They never found her," he said. But some students said they heard noises coming from her locker, days after she was gone. Emily didn't believe him, not fully, until it happened again. Later that week during lunch, locker 327 opened, by itself. This time Emily wasn't alone, 3 other students saw it too. One of them walked over and slammed it shut. "Probably broken," he said. But then from inside the locker, something knocked back. 3 slow knocks. Everyone froze. No one opened it. Emily transferred lockers the next day. But even now, she says she still hears those knocks in her dreams. #Ghost Story 3. The security footage mister. Reynolds had worked as a night security guard at the high school for over 10 years. He had seen everything, or at least he thought he had. His shift started at 11 p.m. By midnight, the building was completely empty, or at least it was supposed to be. One night while monitoring the cameras, he noticed movement. Hallway C, a figure walking slowly. A student. That wasn't possible. He zoomed in. The figure looked like a teenage girl. Wearing an old-style uniform the school hadn't used in years, she walked slowly, dragging one foot. Mr. Reynolds grabbed his radio. "Is anyone inside the building?" he asked. No response. He stood up, decided to check it himself. As he walked down hallway C, the lights flickered. His footsteps echoed loudly, too loudly, like the building was empty in a different way. He turned the corner and saw her, standing at the end of the hall, not moving, just like on the camera. "Hey," he called out, "you're not supposed to be here." No response. He took a step forward, she tilted her head, then the lights went out, complete darkness for 3 seconds. When they came back on, she was gone. Mr. Reynolds ran to the nearest classroom, checked inside, empty. He checked every room, nothing. He went back to the security office, rewound the footage. What he saw made him freeze. On the camera, the girl never disappeared, she was still there, standing in the hallway, looking directly into the camera, smiling. Mr. Reynolds didn't sleep that night. He couldn't. The image of the girl standing in the hallway, still there on the footage even after she had disappeared, kept replaying in his mind. The next morning, he reported everything to the school administration. At first, they didn't take it seriously. "Probably a glitch," one of them said, but Mr. Reynolds insisted. So they reviewed the footage together, and that's when the room went silent, because the girl wasn't just standing there anymore. She was moving, slowly. On the screen, she began walking toward the camera, frame by frame, step by step, but what made it worse, her body didn't move normally. Her legs stayed stiff, almost locked in place, while her upper body leaned forward unnaturally, like something was pulling her. No one spoke until the principal finally said, "Pause it, Mr." Reynolds froze the footage, zoomed in, and that's when they saw her face clearly for the first time. Her eyes were completely black, not shadowed, not hidden, just empty. Then something else appeared behind her. A second figure, much taller, standing just a few feet back, but it wasn't fully visible, just a shape, a darker shadow inside the darkness. "Rewind it," someone whispered. They replayed the footage over and over. But the second figure wasn't always there. It appeared only in certain frames, like it was flickering in and out of reality. That's when the oldest staff member in the room spoke. "There was a student," he said slowly. "Years ago." No one interrupted. "She was involved in an incident late at night." After a school event. "What kind of incident?" the principal asked. The man hesitated, then said quietly, "She said something was following her." The room went silent. "They found her the next morning," he continued. "In that same hallway." No one asked what happened next. They didn't need to. Mr. Reynolds never worked another night shift after that. And the camera in hallway C? It was removed. No official explanation. #ghost story 4. The recording that was deleted, Jason was known as the camera guy. Every school has one. The student who records everything. Football games, class pranks, random moments. But one video changed everything. It started as a joke. Jason and his friends decided to sneak into the school at night. Not to vandalize anything, just to explore. They wanted to film a haunted school video, something fun, something fake. At least that's what they thought. They got in through a side entrance, around 11:45 p.m. The building was completely dark, only their flashlights lit the hallways. Jason had his camera running the entire time. "All right," he whispered into the lens. "Let's see if this place is actually haunted." They laughed. At first, they walked through classrooms, nothing. The gym, nothing. Then they reached the older wing of the school, the part that wasn't used anymore. That's when things changed. The air felt colder, thicker. Like the building itself didn't want them there. "Do you feel that?" one of his friends asked. Jason nodded. "Yeah, it's weird." They kept going until they reached a classroom, room 108. The door was slightly open. That alone was strange. Everything else in that wing was locked. Jason pushed it open slowly. The room was empty, old desks, dust everywhere, but one thing stood out. There was a chair in the middle of the room, facing the door, like someone had placed it there recently. "Okay, that's creepy," someone said. Jason stepped inside, camera still rolling. "Hello," he called out jokingly. No answer. He laughed nervously. "Guess no one's home." Then the door behind them slammed shut, hard. Everyone jumped. "Did you do that?" one of them shouted. No, they rushed to the door, tried to open it. Locked. "Come on, this isn't funny," Jason said. His voice was different now, less confident, more tense. Then the camera picked something up. A sound, faint, like breathing, slow, heavy, from somewhere inside the room. "Do you hear that?" one of them whispered. They turned their flashlights toward the corners. Nothing. The breathing got louder, closer. Jason slowly turned the camera toward the chair in the center, and that's when they saw it. Something was sitting there. It hadn't been there before, a figure, dark, almost blending into the shadows, but visible enough to know it wasn't human. No one moved, no one spoke. The camera shook slightly in Jason's hands. "Let's go," someone whispered. They backed toward the door, slowly. The breathing stopped, complete silence. Then the figure moved. Its head snapped upward, too fast, too unnatural, and then it stood up. The camera dropped. The footage ended. The next day, Jason reviewed the footage, alone. He didn't tell anyone at first, but what he saw made him stop recording forever. Because in the final frames, right before the camera hit the ground, the figure was no longer across the room. It was right in front of him, and it was smiling, not a normal smile, too wide. Too still, and then it spoke, just one sentence, clear, close. "You weren't supposed to come back." Jason deleted the video immediately, but one of his friends had already seen it. And according to him, there was something else. In the reflection of the camera lens, something standing behind Jason, even closer. 4 stories, 4 schools, and none of them have answers. So next time you walk through an empty hallway, ask yourself, are you really alone? If this gave you chills, comment *. I'm not going back to school at night, fearful face, and don't forget to subscribe for more true horror stories every week.